everyone, it's Desiree, and let's still keep celebrating National Scrapbooking Day, and this video is for scrapping for less. These items that I'm going to use you can find in their shop, and I'll have more information at the end of this video. So here we have the VersaFine Onyx Black in a cube. Sometimes it's a little bit better to use that. They're easier to store. And they are at a better price point. I always like to put a little piece of tape on my cubes to make sure that I don't lose the lid. This product here is by EK Tools, and I found it absolutely phenomenal. These are wood sheets, absolutely wood. There's 8 in total in this package. 4 of them have adhesive already on the back, and the other 4 do not, so you can use your liquid adhesive, and they really do look like wood and feel like it. I was pretty amazed. This product is absolutely phenomenal by Sizzix. It's called an Impresslitz, and the die is actually built right into the embossing folder. You can't remove it, so it embosses and die cuts at the same time. This is the first time I have seen a product, or this product, by Sizzix, so I was pretty happy. We're going to use a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 top folding card base, and I used a die from my stash to create the sentiment for the front. So let's get started. So I'm going to take a piece of cardstock into the embossing folder, and you can see that it has this beautiful embossing around it, and that center just pops right out. Absolutely in love with this. Now this piece is already a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm using my Versamark ink, and I am ever so lightly just grazing across the raised portion of this piece of cardstock from the embossing folder. Now it's not going to be perfect, but what this effect is going to do is going to give it like a distressed look, or a vintage look. And we all know I love vintage. Yes, because you will see the vintage photo coming in. I'm going to use my gold embossing powder, and I'm just going to pour it all over this card. Some do also use the Versamark within the embossing folder. I just don't have luck with that. I had a lot better luck, and I loved the effect that this gave. I didn't care that it also went down onto the other surface. I just really liked this effect. May not be for everybody, but again, this is just another technique that we can add to our arsenal for card making or paper crafting, scrapbooking, whatever it is. I'm going to use my heat gun to melt the embossing powder. And again, it's not going to look perfect, but the effect is really cool. And this is what it looks like. So again, you have it on the raised areas, and then you actually have it down onto the cardstock itself. So it almost looks aged or weathered. Here's the vintage photo distress ink, and I'm going to go around the edges of this panel and also on the inside where the heart is already cut out. Again, just to give it some more dimension and some more depth. You already have our texture from the embossing folder, and then also adding the embossing powder on top of that. So again, it's just another way to use if you have folders or your embossing powders. I'm also going to use a piece of that wood paper, and I'm going to cut the center out, and I'm going to use my vintage photo around that as well. Again, to give it some shadow, because this is going to be inset where that cutout is on our distressed panel. I have to cut out a little tiny string there on my pad because, yes, I use it a lot. So those are our pieces. And what I'm going to do with this card panel is I'm going to load it up with double-sided foam tape. I'm a double-sided foam tape fiend, as you can see here, because when you emboss, you are weakening the fibers of your paper. So this paper is 110 pounds, but it does get a little bit weak with that big cutout and all of the embossing that you've done on it. So I really want to make sure that this stays even and doesn't collapse. I'm going to secure that onto my card base, and I have just a little bit of the strip of the card base showing underneath, and I just think that adds a little bit more dimension to the card. I'm going to peel off the adhesive backing or the protective sheet, and I'm going to set that right down onto the card base itself. So we have a level going on here, and with adding the vintage photo, we're adding some depth and shadows to it. I cut out 3 of these sentiments and I glued them together just to make it a little bit thicker so it would stand up. And I'm going to use my Nuvo liquid adhesive, and I'm going to adhere that down onto my panel. And I am going to put an acrylic block on this because there is so much texture from the embossing. I just want to make sure that this sticks. But I wanted it to come across that heart area as well. I wanted to see, sometimes our cubes are a different makeup when it comes to the dyes or the pigments that we're using. So I pulled a sentiment from my stash and I used that, and it is the same. I really like this, so this is great for if I should ever go somewhere and want to do some card making. This is the perfect cube to take along with me and not bring my big pad with me as well. So I'll be able to bring more stuff. So I just added the sentiment in there saying hello, sending hugs, or happy hug day. So I hope you enjoyed this. Here's the close-up of the card that we made today. I hope you look for this Sizzix. Please, you will find it at Scrapping for Less. And again, it is National Scrapbooking Day. There is a sale going on at Scrapping for Less, so I hope you will take the time to check that out. Their sale will be until Sunday, midnight, and it's 15% off of all of their 12 by 12 collections and the embellishment category. Now, who can't use more embellishments? Hello, can I hear you? Absolutely. And more paper, yes. So please take the time to check them out and shop for other things as well. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. There again, as always, so much more is coming. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And the products that I used in this video will be linked down below as well, as long as the Scrapping for Less website and also their blog, because that you can sign up to get their newsletter and stay up to date with all of the offerings that they have. I hope everyone has a great day, and always remember, everyone, be creative.